जय श्री गुरु रामचंद्र गिरिधारी राधवरी माधव जी की जय। रधरमन बिहारी रध विनोद बिहारी रधनंद बिहारी जी की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय। रध दामोदर श्याम सुंदर गोकुल नंद राध रमन जी की जय। कृष्ण बलराम महाराज की जय। निचल पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परिव्राज कचर्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जो पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्ति जनार्दन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जो पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीमद भक्ति कमल गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीमद गोविंद महाराज की जय। श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। परम भागवत शिल गुरु किशोरदास जी महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सच्चिदानंद शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। वैष्णव स्वरूपम शिव जगन्नाथ दास जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भक्त रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भक्त दास रघुनाथ श्री गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। स्वरूप दामोदर हरमनंद दी श्री गौर परिषद वृंद की जय। नमचर शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदी श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। नवदीप मंडल की जय। व्रज मंडल की जय। क्षेत्र मंडल की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समग्र गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि। श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की जय। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे गुरुचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानं पवनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। आनन्दलीलमय विग्रहाय मपतिविचविसुन्दराय तस्मै महप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्द प्रदायिने कलोकल्मषनाशाय जन्मपतये नमः। अजनुलम्बितभुजो कनकवदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो। कनकजलाधगत्रो नीलशोणब्जनेत्रो मृगमदवरबालो मालतीकुन्दमालो तरलतरुणवेशो नीलपीताम्बरेशो स्मरनिभृतनिकुञ्जे राधिका कृष्णचन्द्र। तवैवास्मि न जीवमि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वं नय मम चरणान्तिके। कृष्णवर्णं त्विषा कृष्णं सङ्गपङ्गस्त्रपर्शदं यज्ञै सङ्कीर्तनप्रयाय यजन्ति सुमेधसाम्। ध्येयं सदा परिभवग्नमभीष्टदोहं तीर्थस्पदं शिवविरिञ्चनु तं शरण्यं। प्रीत्यार्तिहं प्रणतपालभवद्दिपोतं वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम्। त्यक्त्वा सुदुश्चरसुरेप्सितराजलक्ष्मीं धर्मिष्ठर्यवचसाय दगादरण्यं। मया मृगं दैतमेप्सितमन्वदावद्वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम्। वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम्। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। First of all, my limited Dandavad Pranams to the lotus feet of Shiva Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupada Astutra Satya Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Shiksha Gurudevas Nitya Lila Om Vishnupada Astutra Satya Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Hare Krishna Priyata Kurani. Also, Nitya Lila Pravishta Shrimad Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, Nitya Pravishta Shrimad Bhakti Kamal Govinda Goswami Maharaj, all Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and dear devotees and friends, Hare Krishna, Dandavad. Thank you very much for coming. These days, during Purusottama-vrata, we're hearing the glories of Purushottam, Supreme Personality. So, on Saturday, we were discussing the personality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the true manifestation of Purushottam, complete manifestation of Purushottam. Jessica certainly you know who that is, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Antar Krishna, Bahir Gaura. Antar Krishna, inside he is Krishna. Bahir, outside he is Gaura. Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvaditam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. He has taken the complexion and the mood of Srimati Radha Thakurani, Srimati Radhika. That's why he is Krishna inside, and Gaura means the color of Gauri, the golden one, the golden complexion one. That is Srimati Radharani outside. So Hare Krishna Tyuchai, we sang this morning, Sri Chaitanya Ashtaka of Srila Rupa Goswami. Hare Krishna Tyuchai. You know, somebody saying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is wrong. He was chanting. Srila Rupa Goswami is saying here, Hare Krishna Tyuchai means loud. Hare Krishna Tyuchai. He was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, very loud. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, very loud. And he was teaching how to chant also others. Korean Nirbanda, he said, hey, Mahamantra, you chant this Mahamantra. And also in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat it said, Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, fully given. And Korean Nirbanda means counting, certain amount. 16, then 108, one round is 108, then 16, then 64, 1 lakh. That is 100,000 holy names. Everything was given by Mahaprabhu, so we're following, we're trying to follow. And on Saturday, we were mentioning these verses from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, which are prophetical. 9 Yogendras, the 9 great sages Yogendras, the sons of Rishabhadev, the incarnation of Krishna, Rishabhadev, brothers of Bharat Maharaj. They were teaching Maharaj Nimi about different incarnations, which avatars will come. In Kali Yuga, one avatar will come. So they were teaching, remember, the red avatar, the blackish avatar, and then in Kali Yuga, he is golden. Every Kali Yuga he is coming, but only once during Brahma's day, means once every 8,614,000,000 years. Day of Brahma and night of Brahma together, 8,320,000,000 divided, multiplied by 2, 8,640,000,000 years. That is the day and night of Brahma. He comes. So each Kali Yuga, golden avatar comes. He gives the holy name, which is Vaikuntha Nama, the name leading to Vaikuntha planets. Those under the control of Lord Narayan, the 4-handed Lord Narayan. But the golden avatar, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, who comes 4,500 years after Krishna comes, during this Kali Yuga, this particular Kali Yuga. So he is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, who is not only teaching the path of devotion, that is true, but he is relishing the mood and taking the complexion of Srimati Radha Thakurani. So there is a verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in the very beginning. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, he's saying, Prema rasa niryas karite asvadan, ragamarga bhakti lokya karite pracharan. Rasika Shekara Krishna Paramakarun Edui Hetu Heta Kari Udgan. The two main reasons of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance are mentioned. Actually, there are four reasons. But the two main ones, the first one is for the jivas, for us. The second one for himself. So external and internal. So the external reason, the internal reason is given first. in this verse I just quoted. Premaras niryas koriti asvadam. Premaras niryas. Niryas means the essence. Premaras, of the essence of divine love. Premaras niryas koriti. Asvadam means to relish, to experience. So he was experiencing what? The depth of love of Srimati Radhika. We'll speak a little more, a bit further. Raga Marga Bhakti Lokya Karite Pracharam. Lokya means for the people. Raga Marga Bhakti means the path of spontaneous devotion he has given to the people of this world. Spontaneous devotion. Spontaneous means in the mood of Vrindavan, in the mood of Raj. Have you been to Vrindavan? Raj? Yes, I can feel. You have heard about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he was meditating on Vrindavan. But himself, he came to Vrindavan only for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Why? Because the essence of his incarnate, the essence of his descent, was not directed towards Krishnatva, the qualities of Krishna. Not at all. Not at all. Krishna is fully covered. That is called Avesh. Krishna is fully covered by the Bhava and Kanti, mood, and the color of Srimati Radhika. So Antar Krishna, okay, Krishna inside, but so much covered, he forgets he is Krishna. He forgets he is Krishna. He is mad in the meditation, contemplation of the depth of Srimati Radhika's love. He's mad in her mood. She fully covers him. So he is even forgetting that he is Krishna. That's why he is chanting Hare Krishna Tuchaya, Krishna. He's chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Yeah. Where is my beloved? Where is the treasure of my soul? He's chanting and he's collapsing, unconscious, exhibiting so many ecstatic emotions. So, when first he returned from Gaya, after he performed all the ceremonies for his departed father, Jagannath Mishra, all the Vaishnavas were so much excited. Oh, Nimai Pandit has become a devotee. Nimai has become a devotee. So then in the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari, he exhibited those ecstatic emotions and he told the devotees what happened to him in Gaya. When I saw the imprints of lotus feet of Vishnu, I became mad with emotions, mad with divine love. The tears were falling from his eyes like from a syringe. They were washing everyone. That same Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who went to Jagannath Puri and during Ratha Yatra, he was dancing in such a way that all, I think, 7 groups of kirtaniyas and dancers, they were thinking he is dancing only with them in each particular group. And he was pouring everyone with rain of tears. Everybody was soaking wet. That's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is cry for Krishna. His cry for Krishna. But he's not only crying for himself, he's crying for us also and teaching us how to cry. So that cry, Srila Gaura-tattva Maharaj mentioned. Cry for Krishna, he said. Cry for Krishna. And when he built his temple in Bhubaneswar, he said, this is the temple of crying. The temple of crying. So he was teaching us how to cry. So we mentioned this verse, Krishna Varnam Krisha Krishnam Sangha Pangastra Parshadam Yagyayir Sankirtana Praye Yajantihi Sumedasa. In Kali Yuga, Sumedasa, intelligent people will worship the Lord in the process of Sankirtan. Yeah? No qualification to perform yagyas with a sacrificial fire and ghee, grains. No qualified brahmanas to perform even deity worship. Sometimes we can do, but the main process is Harinam Sankirtan, chanting of the holy name. We'll be worshipping him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come with all his associates. We were mentioning on Saturday which ones, who performs which role. And also we mentioned this verse, the two verses ending Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravindam, the prophecy of Srimad Bhagavatam about the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first one we described on Saturday, and the second one we'll describe today. Dhyayam sada paribhavagnam vishtadoham tirtaspadam shiva virinchanitam sharanyam pratyartiham pranatapala bhavabdipotam vande mahapurushate charanaravindam. Always meditate, dhyayam, always meditate. Like Bhimahi, that word in Gayatri Mantra. Deep meditation, always. Upon that, Mahapurusha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is removing completely all the suffering of material existence, paribhavagna. So many kinds of suffering, Mahaprabhu removes immediately. We can compare our life now with our life 20 years ago, 10 years ago. What a big difference. Paribhavagnam abhishta doham. So he completely destroys, and he's fulfilling doham, the real desire of the soul, the true desire of the soul. So we were discussing yesterday about the desire of the soul, what we really want. Tirtaspadam. So his lotus feet are worshipped by all the holy tirtas, all the holy places. Worship his lotus feet. Prayag, Badarikashram, Puri, so many others who worship his lotus feet. We're mentioning how the acharyas of the four sampradayas, they were coming to Navadvip and they were meditating on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu long before his appearance, and they were receiving his darshan and his trance, and they were able to perceive Mahaprabhu's mercy, and he was telling them, oh, I will definitely come. I will accept you in my pastimes. So even Ramanujacharya became Ananta Bhakta in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why is that? Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his main temple, Sri Chaitanya Mat in Mayapur, he installed, you remember, Mahaprabhu and Gandharvika Giridhari, Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna, all three figures together, and then he installed the acharyas of the four sampradayas on the four sides. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanuja, Madhva a bit closer, then Vishnu Swami and Nimbaditya a bit further. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is in the center. Why? Well, it's a long story philosophically why, but we can say just in one sentence that Mahaprabhu introduced that universal, overwhelming philosophy of simultaneous oneness and difference, achintya abheda abheda tattva, which reconciles all seeming contradictions in all philosophical systems. So all the philosophical systems will speak in very simple language. Okay, that's a very deep topic. I'm actually not qualified, but we can sometime organize a seminar, for sampradayas and their philosophies. But what I want to say, certain sampradayas, they stress oneness more, and certain sampradayas, they stress duality more. Say, Sri Madhvacharya stressed dualism more, Shuddha Dvaita, pure dualism. That's why you see Madhvacharya always has two fingers like this, because two, categorically, yes, difference. From the point of view of the jiva, we're always separate from Krishna. From the point of Krishna, we're always non-separate from him, like this. So he loves us so much, his own parts, jivas. So, yeah, Poland. Haribol, don't cry. Okay, it'll be very interesting. Soon we'll sing very wonderful arati. You sit a little bit. Okay. Oh, when the deep philosophy started, children crying, understand? Then we'll sing beautiful songs you'll really like. There'll be lights, the deities will be illuminated so nicely. Oh, Haribo. Maya, what's her name? Maya? Maya Kala. Okay. Maya Kala. Haribo. Say Haribo. All right. Okay, now she's feeling happier. Right? Okay. Thank you for coming. Okay. We'll be very happy tonight. Okay, so the four sampradayas, okay, they're concentrated around Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu reconciling them. All of their conclusions are being reconciled in his philosophical system and also in his moods. Everything is there, everything. Inconceivable oneness and difference. Achintya, Veda, Abheda, Tat. Inconceivable oneness and difference. How are the jivas one with the Lord? He explained very, very diligently, very in great detail. How they're different, also described. How is Maya, world of illusion, here, one with the Lord and simultaneously separated? So this is in perfect harmony, simultaneously, yes and no. So Mahaprabhu is in the center. He's the central figure. Shiva Virinchi Natam Sharanyam. Tirthaspadam. So he is worshipped by great demigods. So we were saying, Tirthaspadam Shiva Virinchi Natam Sharan. So Advaita Acharya, Lord Shiva came as Advaita. Lord Brahma came as Haridas. You remember him, Haridas Thakur. You've heard so many wonderful stories about Haridas. So they're acharyas, Advaita Acharya, he is the leader of all the Vaishnavas, obviously. He was calling for the Lord to come. He offered Tulsi and Ganga water so that the Lord comes, he could see so much godlessness, flourishing in Navadvip. People were worshipping Devi Kali, offering sacrificial goats, so much blood and red flowers and everything else. Giving the sons and daughters of cats and dogs in marriage. Cats and dogs they were giving in marriage to each other. So people were doing yagya for that. He was saying, oh, such godlessness. If you don't come, then I will just destroy this world. And then Lord Brahma, Haridas Thakur, another Acharya, Namacharya, the Acharya of the holy name, 300,000 holy names. Maya Devi came to him in the form of Lakshahira, the prostitute, that story. Haridas Thakur made her a devotee. All the great saints came home. The best of the prostitutes became the best of the saints. Circumambulating Tulsi, chanting the holy name. Yeah, somebody asked. She was actually a disciple of Haridas. So, Shiva Virincha Nutam Sharanyam, Vrityartiham Pranatapala, Bhavabdi Potam. Very, very easily, Mahaprabhu is removing the distress of all the surrendered souls who come to him. All the surrendered souls, they get their desires fulfilled, like Chintamani stone. Chintamani stone fulfills all desires. You touch him, touch the stone, and you get the desire fulfilled. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is endlessly merciful because he's most diligently fulfilling the inner desire of every soul. So many devotees came to his pastimes, so many. Not only in the mood of Vraj. For example, Srivas Thakur, he is Narada Muni, right? Narada Muni's place is what? Dwaraka, actually. Is Dwaraka Parivar. But he's traveling everywhere, playing on his veena. He can fly to Vraj, yes, Radhika Ramana, Radhika Ramana. Maybe tomorrow we'll sing Narada Muni Bhaja, remind me. Okay, but when he is in Dwaraka, he sing in Vaikuntha, he sing Narayana, 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 different. tunes, different melodies. Narada Muni knows. But he came as Srivas. So many devotees came from heavenly planets. Hanuman came as Murari Gupta. You know? Mahaprabhu was inducing him, oh, you chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. You cannot, okay, Hare Krishna, but cannot give up Sitaram, Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram. So once Mahaprabhu came with, I think, I forgot, maybe Gaura-tattva, was someone. He came to Murari and said, hey, Murari, you have something under your pillow. I said, yes, that was a knife. Give me that. He wanted to commit suicide. He was prepared because he could not chant Hare Krishna. Such a tragedy, you know. So Sitaram, Sitaram, Sitaram. Okay, you keep on Sitaram. The brother of Rupa and Sanatan, Anupama, also Rama Bhakta. There were so much preaching to him. Chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, but Sitaram, Sitaram. So much. And he stayed like this. But he left very soon, you know, he left. His body went Rama, Loka, Ayodhya. You know, he could not stay. Like this, so many devotees of different, the Sakhas, the friends of Krishna also, not only maidservants of Srimati Radhika. They are all Manjaris, you know, Rupa Sanatana, Raghunath Bhatta, Raghunath Das, they're all Manjaris. You know, Ashta Manjaris, the 8 main Manjaris, then main Sakhas, main friends, boyfriends of Krishna. They're all associates of Lord Nityananda. Nityananda is Balaram, and so many others. Abhiram Thakur and so many others. They're in Sakyaras. You know, they all came. Mahaprabhu engaged devotees in all 4 rasas. And he said about that, Chara Bhava, I will disseminate the devotion in the 4 bhavas, in the 4 moods, in the 4 rasas. So, therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the central point. And he's surrounded by millions and millions of devotees. And he's in the center, even of the acharyas of the 4 sampradayas. And Brityartiham Pranatapala Bhavabdi Potam. Yeah? Bhavabdi Potam means the boat, a suitable boat. What does it mean, suitable? It means with Sankirtan, with a group of Sankirtan. So that boat is able to take everyone across the river, I'm sorry, the ocean of material existence. Otherwise the river, to say. So, the second verse. Tyaktva sudustya surepsita raja lakshmim dharmishta aryavachasayada gadaranyam mayamrigam daita epsitam anvada vadvande mahapurushate charanarvim. Most wonderful verse. Our acharyas, holy teachers, are saying that in this verse, not only Mahaprabhu is meant, also Krishna and Ramachandra. Yes. So certain devotees, they see Ramachandra. Devotees of Ram, they say, oh, Rama is here. Devotees of Krishna, Krishna is here. But devotees of Mahaprabhu, Gaudiya Bhaktas, they see Mahaprabhu different. You know? The prophetical words of Kara Bhajana, one of the 9 Yogendras. So he's saying, Tyaktva means having abandoned. Sudustija, personality who is most difficult to abandon. Who is that? Lakshmi. Lakshmi Devi. You know? Krishna, who has abandoned Lakshmi Devi. Who is Lakshmi Devi? In Gaura Lila, that is Vishnu Priya. Vishnu Priya and Lakshmi Priya, the 2 wives, 2 spouses of Mahaprabhu. Vishnu Priya is the incarnation of Bhu Shakti, Lord Narayan's Shakti. Vishnu Priya is incarnation of Shri. So 3 Shakti Lord Narayan has: Bhu, Shri and Nila or Lila. So Bhu is Vishnu Priya, Shri is Lakshmi Priya, and Lila or Nila is the Dhamma itself, Navadvip Dhamma. So Mahaprabhu is worshipped in that form, along with Vishnu Priya, you know, Vishnu Priya Devi, his wife. Lakshmi Priya first came, then in separation, she left her body. when Mahaprabhu went to East Bengal to meet Tapan Mishra, then Lakshmi Priya disappeared because the snake came and bit her in the foot and the leg, and she passed away. In separation, snake of time came, snake of separation. And then Shachimata, the mother of Gauranga, wanted him so much to accept another wife, so he accepted Vishnupriya. So Vishnupriya is Bhu, and Lakshmi Priya is Shri, and the whole Navadvipa Dhama is Lila, like this. So Sudhishticha, so even Surepsita, the demigods, they're so much into Lakshmi, so much into the goddess of fortune. They want some riches, they want some happiness. Raja Lakshmi, yes. And he left her and he took sannyas. He took sannyas, full renunciation. When Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in Navadvip, he was exhibiting 24-hour, 21 out of 24 hours, ecstasy and kirtan, chanting and dancing, in the house of Srivas Thakur, very, very holy place of all the Vaishnavas, the house of Srivas Thakur. He was chanting and dancing, and everybody was following. But everybody means only the close associates first. The doors were locked from the strangers. But so many brahmanas, so many respectable persons wanted to enter, they could not. Mahaprabhu was not letting everyone in. So once one Brahman wanted to enter, but the doors were locked, and he was rejected. So the next day, the following day, he went to the Ganga, and he met Mahaprabhu there at the Ganga. Mahaprabhu was, he was not Mahaprabhu actually, he was Gauranga. Then Mahaprabhu he became, after he took sannyas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then before sannyas it was. So, okay, correctly to say Gauranga. So he also went to the Ganga and he met that Brahmana, and the Brahmana told him, "Oh, I'm cursing you now. I curse you so that you won't have any material happiness. You will not have any material happiness." Mahaprabhu was very happy. He was very happy inside. He was really joyous, because we want only the happiness of Krishna, and that means that we want only our happiness. That means our real happiness, because our real happiness is with Krishna. So Mahaprabhu didn't care about any material happiness. He was thinking, very good. So he returned and was continuing his pastimes very happily. So Arya Vachasa, that's why the curse of that Brahmana happened, and he took sannyas. On the strength of the curse of that Brahmana, he took sannyas. Only the closest associates of Mahaprabhu, they knew he would be taking sannyas. Why did he take sannyas? Sannyas is the highest position in Varnashrama. Some of our opponents are criticizing us that we take sannyas sometimes, But oh, this is Varnashrama. Varnashrama is, Varnashrama, the system of 4 social and spiritual orders. Oh, this is external. No need to take, Why did Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati introduce? There's a good reason. First of all, Mahaprabhu himself took sannyas. Swarupa Damodara took sannyas. Main associates of Mahaprabhu, I forget the number, like seniors, there were sannyasis. Swarupa Damodara, one of them. Brahmananda Bharati, Paramananda Puri, some others. They were sannyasis. Nityananda also took sannyas, but since he's avadut, then he broke his danda. He was free, and he took 2 wives, the sisters Vasudha and Janava. So he took sannyas. Once Mahaprabhu was sitting and chanting. When he returned from Gaya, he was in the ecstasy of devotee, in the mode of Radhika already. He was chanting the name of Krishna and he was crying. So one time, he was sitting and chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. You can ask, why Gopi, Gopi, Gopi? Why Gopi, Gopi? Because he was chanting Krishna all the time. But that time, he was chanting Gopi, Gopi. And one student, a former fellow student of his, he noticed, oh, Nimai Pandit is chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. So he complained to the former teacher in the Gurukul, not Gurukul, Tola, in the Sanskrit school. What was his name? Gangadas Pandit. So he went and he complained, oh, I saw Nimai Pandit, he went crazy. He's chanting the name of the Gopi. So he actually chastised Nimai, said, hey, what are you chanting? You're chanting the names of gopis. This is not legitimate. In the Shastra, in the scriptures, there's a prescription to chant the name of Krishna. And you're chanting the name of the gopis. Why? This is not the proper procedure. So then Mahaprabhu decided in his heart, I have to take sannyas. I have to take sannyas because sannyasis are respected. Who was saying, Gurudev was saying, sannyas is only for, Shiva, I think, Bhakti Rakshak Siddhar Goswami Maharaj was saying, sannyas is for pratishta. For pratishta means for the respect in society. That is good, because that's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada also took sannyas, although, as we remember, there was no, qualified person around. His Gurudev, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Bhoji Maharaj, had already left. So from the picture of his Gurudev, he took sannyas. But that was a good reason, because when you're sannyasi, you're accepted very seriously in society as an authority. For example, like a teacher in school, you have a suit and tie, you have Mr. such and such in position, then okay, you'll be listened by general public. So that was very good for Mahaprabhu, not only for that. He wanted to understand the essence of the love of Srimati Radhika. We take sannyas also for that, because we get sannyasa mantra, and sannyasa mantra has the mood, that same mood, in the parampara of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's coming through, that's fine. That very, very special mantra means a lot, cannot say more. So Dharmishta, Aryavachasa, Yadahan, Aranyam. Aranyam, he went to the forest. On the curse of that Brahmana, you will not have material happiness. He went to the forest. Forest means took sannyas. So very few devotees from Mahaprabhu's circle knew that he would take sannyas. Gadadhara Pandits, a few. What's his name? Kolavecha Sridhar. Sridhar, the banana bark seller, the great, great friend of Mahaprabhu. He offered him loki from his garden. Loki, fruit, Indian fruit. Shachimata made the best preparation, favorite preparation, loki, milk and gourd. It's called gourd. That loki. So Mahaprabhu took. Vishnupriya. She had some feeling in her heart. Mahaprabhu's spouse, wife. She had feeling in her heart. Something will happen. Something is wrong. Because Mahaprabhu usually used to neglect her. She was still very young, I think 14, 15 like this. Very, very young, but Mahaprabhu was neglecting her. But she was not seeing her. And that evening he came and personally decorated her hair with flowers. He was so gentle with her, so gentle. So she thought, when the candle is about to extinguish, then it does puck, 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 then it burns very, very strongly, and then does puck, 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 extinguishes. So she was having some apprehension in her heart. And she took a vow, I will not close my eyes. I will not sleep. But under the pressure of desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nidra Devi, the goddess of sleep, pressed her eyelids and she closed her eyes and fell asleep. Yoga Maya, spiritual potency, she arranged everything. So Mahaprabhu came out, and in the garden, in the yard, Shachimata was standing like a statue. So he circumambulated her 4 times. Yes. And he worshipped her feet, and he said, Mother, I'm going to achieve Krishna. To achieve Krishna, the highest goal. And he left. He crossed the Ganga at Nidaya Ghat. It's called Nidaya. Nidaya means non-merciful. Nidaya Ghat. So very, very, how to say, place full of moods of separation with Mahaprabhu. I remember how when group of actors, they came, it was 2000, maybe 6, when Gurudev's temple was still being built, Keshwaji Gaudiya Math in Navadip, and they were playing the drama, Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. So that was very, very deep. Mayam Rigam Daityam Sudud Admadhavat. So, Mayam Rigam, Mrigam means deer, animal, deer. So, Maya means illusion. Mayam Rigam means illusion, which is like a deer. So, generally, conditioned souls are running after illusion. Maya means so-called wife, children, bank account, everything. Everything which firmly binds the jiva to the materialistic concept of life. So Mrigam also means to search out. So Maya Mrigam indicates the conditioned living entity, always searching for sense gratification, then searching, chasing the deer, sense gratification. So and Mahaprabhu also, he was going here and there, searching for what? Conditioned souls. Conditioned souls. We were discussing Krishna is very, very merciful. Simultaneously, he's full of pastimes. Lilamai and Kripamai. Simultaneously, Lilamai, full of pastimes and full of mercy. The most popular, one of the most popular questions to our gurus most probably was, what is more important for Krishna, himself or the jivas, us? So he comes for himself and for us. So what is more important for him? You know, jivas are feeling a bit, we're not so important. He does everything for him. We're thinking for himself. Actually, this is not. Krishna is full harmony, complete harmony. We are his inseparable parts. So he's coming for us, and he's coming for himself also. Because we are his. So he's coming for himself, that's true, and he's coming for us also. Because we are his inseparable parts. So he loves us because he loves himself in the way Srimati Radhika loves him. So that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see complete harmony. So Maya Mrigam means he was searching for those souls. Hey, conditioned souls. In Jaiva Dharma chapter 15, Brajanath is asking questions. He is asking, oh, it seems to be unfair. Krishna has put us through all these sufferings. Why? If he knew it would be suffering, why didn't he introduce a simpler path, a less troublesome path? But Babaji is saying, don't forget, Brajanath, that he is full of mercy. He is full of mercy, and we have to recognize. And his mercy is also manifested in the fact, by the fact that he put us here. It's also his mercy. So we're thinking, what? That's his mercy. I have to do this, that, I have to undergo so much trouble. That is his mercy also, because we are the participants of the Lila. We're the participants of the Lila. Great, great humility is needed to recognize. Not at once it comes. But we have to, how to say, upgrade. We have to stand on the platform of devotion. Then we'll be able to join the divine pastimes. That's what will happen. So he is searching for us and he's touching us, Now we're touched by him. Shri Guru caught us by this, by the choti. Come with me. Come with me. If we experienced His merciful touch in this life, then we're very, very happy. He's saying, come with me. Leave everything, come with me. No, first come with me, then leave everything is the second one. He's so attractive and come with me. And then leaving all other things, not so significant. What's that? Oh no. Like now we have left alcohol, meat, so many things which are completely rubbish, we know. But Sri Guru has attracted us. So Mahaprabhu comes like this. And Sri Guru is in his army. He is most beloved of Mahaprabhu. What's that? He is the full representative of Nityananda, best devotee of Mahaprabhu. So he's most merciful, most beneficent incarnation. And he's full of mercy. But also, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, this verse describes Krishna, incarnation of Krishna himself, in his original blackish form. Surepsita Raja Lakshman means Shri Mathura Sampraptim, or the opulence of Mathura. So Krishna, although he is considered to be Mathura Vasi by so many, that he was born in Mathura. Actually, he is the son of Nanda, son of Yashoda, Krishna. We can see, on the one hand, he is known as Vasudeva, Nanda. On the other hand, Nanda, Nanda. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, I don't want to be like a snake, because a snake has a tongue of two parts. One is saying that he was born in Mathura, the other one is saying he was born in Vrindavan, so I don't want to be such a snake. Only Nanda Nandan, only Yashoda Nandan is our Krishna. He was born from the womb of Yashoda, really. That's what Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, Gopal Champu. That's what Ananda Vrindavana Champu of Srila Kavya Karnapur is saying. He was born from the womb of Yashoda, practically. And the umbilical cord was cut. Krishna was born there. So we accept him as such. But in this context, it means that, okay, Vasudeva brought him to Vrindavan, Gokul Mahavan, from Mathura. You know what happened? That Vasudeva Krishna he was carrying completely entered the body of Nanda Nandan Krishna. That's what happened. So Vasudeva didn't notice anything because he's a worshipper of Madhuresh Krishna. So he was thinking, I put the boy and I took the girl. Yogamaya. Yashoda was so much tortured by the birth giving process that she didn't even understand who he gave birth to. Actually, she gave birth to twins, Krishna and Yogamaya. So Krishna entered, Vasudeva entered Nanda Nandan, and he was there, right? And Yogamaya was transferred to Mathura. Then Kamsa took her. She wanted to smash her head. Then immediately she manifested in the sky. Foolish Kamsa, your killer is born already in another place. So like this. But actually, Vasudeva Krishna entered Nanda Nandan. And Nanda Nandan stayed in Vraj, and Yogamaya was invisible because that was her function. As Ekanamsha, she was known, and then she manifested in Dwaraka. In Dwaraka, she was already in the body. But while Krishna was in Vraj, Yogamaya was not visible. That is the whole Lila. But yeah, so he left Mathura and he went to Vrindavan. That's this meaning. So in Vrindavan, he was known as Nanda Nandan Krishna, Yashoda Nandan Krishna. Mothers love sons more, have more attachment. So he's Yashoda Nandan more than he's Nandan. Certainly Nanda Nandan, no doubt, but Yashoda Nandan is more intimate. So, and the fathers, they love daughters more. So also, there's another meaning, Maya Mrigam. Very special, exalted relationship between Radharani and Krishna. So Maya Mrigam. Maya means Yogamaya. Also another meaning. The potency of Krishna, Yogamaya. And the origin of Yogamaya, who? Radharani, Srimati Radhika. So that's the origin of Yogamaya. So due to the inconceivable love of Radharani, Krishna becomes easily controlled by her. That is called Mrigam, or the animal. Maya Mrigam. Mrigam is, as you remember, the deer, right? So the first meaning is the conditioned soul is running after a deer of sense enjoyment, etc. And Krishna also running in the form of Mahaprabhu to catch the jivas and engage them in the process of bhakti. But another thing, Mrigam means animal. And Srimati Radhika is playing with Krishna like with an animal. That's another meaning. So Krishna, because today we're discussing high tattva, high truths. Krishna becomes a plaything in the hands of Radhika. He becomes Radhika's toy, like a puppet. Mrigam means animal, like a, teddy bear, or whatever. Toy, soft toy pet, stuffed with some soft. No, not alive. I mean, like a toy. On the one hand, it's like an animal or pet, okay. On the other hand, it's like a toy, right? So, Krida Mrigam, toy animal, right? Krida Mrigam. So that is the position of Krishna. Our acharyas, I think Srila Jiva Goswami is commenting this. So, a beautiful girl like Maya, what's her name? Maya Kala can play with so many toys. So in that same way, Radhika can play with Krishna. You understand? Even Sri Jayadev Goswami, when he was writing Gita Govinda, the highest possible scripture, he stopped. He could not write at one place, at one spot. When he heard Smaragara Lakandanam Mama Shirasimandanam Dehi Padapallava Madaram, that's what Krishna said. Oh, please extinguish the burning of the poison which is burning my heart, and put your feet on my head. Put your feet on my head. Jayadev Goswami could not write. That was in Champaka Hata, Navadvip, Mandava. So he could not write. He stopped. Then Krishna himself took his form and wrote that. Padmavati, the wife of Jayadev, saw that her husband went to take bath, and then came, took a pen, and wrote something in his handwritten copy. And he went to take bath again, and then came back. And he asked, "Oh, Prabhu, why did you come back? Wrote something, returned to the Ganga, again took bath, and again." "No, I came back only one time. I came back only one time." "How come? I saw you twice." "I don't know anything." And then he noticed these words he heard. He was afraid to write, were written in his handwriting by Krishna himself. So he said, "Oh woman, you are most fortunate in the three worlds because Bhagavan himself, Supreme Personality, he came and you saw him." So he wrote them down. So Krishna is falling at the feet of Srimati Radhika. And Srimati Radhika is then fulfilling his desire. She is putting her foot on his head. And his forehead becomes marked with red lakh, red altar. So then Krishna achieves highest happiness. He becomes Lalita Madhava. And she becomes Swadhina Bhartrika. Means fully controlling her beloved. Swadhina Bhartrika. That is Srimati Radhika's position is fully controlling heroine. Thus Krishna becomes a toy in her hands. So Srila Jiva Goswami is saying that Radharani performed innumerable types of worship in order to bind Krishna more and more to her, because her Aradhana, that's why her name is Radharani. But Aradhana or worship, service in her name. So that's why Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. It's just a vision that he leaves Vrindavan after 10 years and 8 months, and he goes to Mathura, and he goes to Dwarka, manifesting Dwarka from his desire. All the residents of Mathura go to sleep, wake up in Dwarka, the fortress in the ocean. But actually, Vrindavanam parityaja padam egam nagacchati. He doesn't make a step out of Vrindavan. Even though he may go, if we apply a, neutral vision, he can go to Mathura, he can go to Dwaraka, but he is always Rajendra Nandana, Yashoda Nandana. Rajendra Nandana is Nanda Nandana, Yashoda Nandana, always. So Krishna is there in Vrindavan, but he's invisible. So the residents of Vrindavan cry in separation from him, because they're feeling him, his presence, in separation. And he's always crying in separation with them. So Srila Sridhara Swami, the first commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam, shows us that also Lord Ramachandra's pastimes are described by these words. So although Krishna is completely independent, detached from everything, he becomes attached to his pure devotees. So in the great capital of Ayodhya, all the citizens loved Ramachandra more than one can describe. So Arya Vachasa means, the curse of Arya means of Brahman, means on the will of his father, who was just like his guru, Ramachandra gave up everything and went to the forest. So that was the will of, actually, the will of Kaikeyi, but he had to fulfill the desire of the promises he had to fulfill. So that's why Maya Mrigam means a great affection to Sita Devi. It also shows in this verse. So Sita Devi Daitayapsitam, is mentioned here. So Karabhajana Muni is saying, therefore, Mahapurusha, the great personality, is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his pastimes, his sweet pastimes, we'll hear about. So now, today we'll just start whatever we'll be hearing of tomorrow. So I mentioned that after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri. He went to the great abode of separation. Jagannath Puri Dham is the place for practicing separation. Sri Krishna has a greed, so much greed in his heart. What do the Brijabasis, what do the residents of Raj, Vrindavan, feel for me? What do they feel? And Srimati Radhika, what does she feel? So you remember what the 3 desires Krishna had? You remember that? So when Krishna returned to Goloka Vrindavan, he realized after he was on earth, when he was on earth, he didn't fulfill 3 desires. 3 desires remained unfulfilled. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishava Naiva Sarena Bhutamarima Kidrishava Madhya Sokyam Chasya Manudavatam Kidrisham Vitilobat Tadbhavadya Samajani Sachigarbha Sindhu Harindu. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. Krishna was thinking, what is the depth of Srimati Radhika's love? Radha Bhava, Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishava Naiva. Radha, Shri Radha Pranayama Kidrishava Neva Swadeyanad Bhutama Madhurima Kidrishava Madhi. What is the Adbhuta Madhurima? What is the undescribable sweetness of my qualities? His own qualities, experienced by her only in her love. That is the second desire. Like when Krishna noticed himself in the column, in the pillar, once, he could not look anywhere else. What kind of beauty? What kind of beauty I have? Or otherwise, imagine a sugar doll. A sugar doll is made of sugar completely, right? Some lollies, in the form of a dolly, you can give her, and then but the doll itself will not realize the sweetness. Mayakala should taste. Then the doll will become greed. What does Mayakala? What's she tasting? So that's a material example. But in that same way, Krishna was having greed. What is Srimati Radhika tasting in her love? How deep is the sweetness? How to say, relishable is the sweetness of my qualities? Remember, Krishna has so many qualities, and his beauty is the main one. So there are 4 qualities of Krishna which differ him from Lord Narayan. 4. What are they? Rupa Madhuri, the sweetness of his form. Lila Madhuri, the sweetness of his pastimes. Venu Madhuri, the sweetness of his flute play. And his Prema Madhuri, the sweetness of his divine love. So these 4 qualities are so much relishable for Krishna himself. Yes, he wants to taste from the heart of Srimati Radharani. How Srimati Radhika tastes that. So he's very greedy. He's very greedy. That's why in Gambhira, all night he was, rubbing his cheeks against the walls, and they were bleeding, and we will hear about those ecstasies. And the third desire, Saukyam Chasya Manunavadam Kidrisham Veti Lobat. What happiness she is experiencing when she is meditating upon my wonderful qualities. What happiness she feels in her heart. So Krishna was desirous to know that. So that's why he came from the womb of Mother Shachi. So tonight's class started later. That's why, we're just creating greed, giving you so many hints. Actually, today we're maybe continuing with Gaura-tattva and a little bit touched Gaura-lila. So tomorrow we have last scheduled class here, but dependent on the situation in London with the proposed quarantine of London, we don't know when it will be introduced. But anyway, 3 more days I will be in UK, and tomorrow for sure the class will be here at the same time. But let's see, we'll announce about Wednesday and Thursday how it will be, where it will be. But it will be, I'm sure, must be, to be or not to be. All right, so Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. So very, very intense topics, that's why 1 hour is enough. We will, maybe we'll sing one song, okay, at the end. Sakhe Kala Gaura Modaram. Yes, let us sing. And then we'll do Arati. That is on page, you please tell the page, Sakhe. Okay. Oh, there's a question from Purusottama.
A
bit louder.
Mahaprabhu, he doesn't really spend much time in Vrindavan because he's not really he's not in the mood of Krishna. Something like this.
His Krishnatva would be manifest. He started manifesting, that's why he left very quickly. These qualities of Krishna. He was recognized immediately by the deer, by the cows, by residents. That is our Krishna. So he started feeling like Krishna. That's why he had to leave. It was not his purpose.
I think I caught two of them because I always forget these, 3 internal symptoms.
Oh yeah.
So it was to taste his sweetness.
Yeah, the four. Okay, thank you for reminding me for the completeness of.
Yeah,
I didn't mention the four.
Summarize so that we can.
Okay. Okay, so let's start from the external ones, and 2.2 is the first one. So, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashayat dushkritam maya tapadhanam sambhavani yoge. So, to protect the saintly and annihilate the demons, I come to this material world here, yuga after yuga, millennium after millennium. So Krishna always does, and when Kali Yuga came, that time, so that coincided with the appearance of Mahaprabhu. So how does Mahaprabhu support all the world? By Hare Krishna Mahamantra. How does he annihilate the demons? He has no weapon. What is the weapon of Mahaprabhu? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So he re-establishes Yuga Dharma, the spiritual practice for this age. That is the second desire. Now the first, not second of the external reasons. Now the first out of external ones. Remember, Advaita Acharya was praying to him, offering Tulsi leaf and Ganga water every day, so that the Lord comes, please come. So he came, because the path was calling for the whole. So he came, and that was, no. Raga Marga Bhakti Lokya Kuriti Prachara. Actually, the external one. Sorry for me. The external one. The external means for the jivas. So 2.1 relates Raga Marga Bhakti Lokya Kuriti Pracharan, means for the jivas. To give the jivas the path of spontaneous devotion. That is properly. So this 2.1. Now 1.2. 1.2 means the second of internal reasons. That is the call of Advaita Acharya, because Advaita is who? Is Mahavishnu. So Gaura-tattva.
This is not external.
No, internal. So that is what Srila Gurudev. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said differently.
Right.
But our Gurudev, anyway, and the Acharyas, they're mentioning that, okay, for the jivas, external. So external reason, number 2.2, re-establish Yuga Dharma, religious principles for this age. 2.1 is Raga Marga Bhakti Lokya Karite Pracharan, means to give the path of spontaneous devotion for the residents of this material world, for us, to show the jivas. Lokya means the jivas, the path of spontaneous devotion. 1.2 is the call of Advaita Acharya. Okay, so the Lord, in the form of Advaita, was calling him, so he gave. And 1.1 is the 3 unfulfilled desires. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Vladini Shakti Rasman, that is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 6, I think, 6th verse. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahimati Drishavaneva, this one. So Krishna was having 3 unfulfilled desires. What are they? The depth of Srimati Radhika's love, the sweetness of his own qualities, experienced only by her in her love, and the happiness she feels while experiencing the beauty of his qualities. That's the 3. Okay, so at the end. Sakya Kala Gauram Udaram. Sakya Kalaya Gauram Udaram. Once again, the page is 314. Sakya Kalaya Nindita hatata kanti kane Nindita hatata kanti kane Garvita Madhukararajita malati mandita Madhukararajita malati mandita Jita gana kunjita tesham Jita gana Tilaka vinindita shashadhara rupakam Tilaka vinindita shashadhara rupakam Govana mano arave Now we sing. Tilakavini Shashadara Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Thank you very much. See you tomorrow at the same time.